Hello, this is Guy Brown from My Real Estate Advisor. This is going to be a quick training video on ideas on how to structure your day when you're working from home during this current and unusual period of time that we're going through with work and everything else. So I will kick off with what your routine is. Now, depending on your situation, where you live, what sort of hours you tend to keep, will depend on how you want to structure your day. So, for example, if you are a morning person, you might get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and, do a bit of exercise or something like that. Now, that's not my preference, but some people are morning people. I've noticed in Australia, because of the heat, you get a lot of morning people that go to bed early, get up early because they don't want to be caught in the midday heat. There's a lot of tradies that do that and that kind of thing. So depending on whether or not you're a day person, as in a morning person, or a nighttime person, depending on what time you're going to get up and when you're going to start work and what you're going to do. So think about that very carefully. Don't try and be a morning person if you're not a morning person, because that won't last very long, because you'll get fed up with it, because that's not how you roll. How this started, when we were developing as human beings, there would be nighttime people and there would be actual morning people. So there would be the people that got up in the morning and went hunting for the food and stuff like that, and then would be the people that stayed up late at night to protect people from wild animals. So there's two distinct patterns there of human beings, which people don't realize. People think that we're all the same and we should all get up in the morning and blah blah blah, but the reality is you are either a morning person or a nighttime person. So if you can stay up all night, not a problem. Chances are you're a nighttime person, so you should be doing more work and activities in the evening, not first thing in the morning, because that's not the best time for you. You're not going to be very useful to anybody first thing in the morning if you're a nighttime person, and vice versa. If you are a morning person, you can't work till 7 o'clock at night. You'll be absolutely useless. So there you go. So figure out which you are. You probably know in your heart of hearts what you are. I think you'll find if you are a nighttime person, you will have been trying to conform to getting up in the morning and doing a 9 till 5 and all that palaver for years, and probably struggling with it. If you're a morning person, that'll be a walk in the park for you. You don't understand why people are late for work, because you're never late for work. You get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, go for a run or whatever, go to the gym, you're good to go. So somebody being late in the morning is alien to you. Anyway, I digress. So my advice on how to structure your day, given the current situation and really working from home and things like that, which some people might find unusual and find hard to motivate and things like that as well. So I would split the day up into segments. So your first segment ideally would be cold calling. Now, I know a lot of you don't like cold calling. It's not your forte. If that's the case, if you hate it and you don't want to do it, fair enough, don't do it. But I suggest you give it a try. Now, the window for cold calling, depending on the time you get up and when you start work and everything, is basically your maximum time to cold call is 2 hours. So let's say, for example, you're a nighttime person, you're probably going to get a better result at 5 o'clock at night, ringing from 5 till 7, something like that. Now, people say, oh yeah, they don't want to be called, after work or whatever when they're having the tea. To be fair, you're a 2-minute phone call. It's, do you want an appraisal, yes or no? Are you interested in selling your house? Do you want to buy a house? Whatever. It's very straightforward, quick questions. They're either going to tell you go away, or they're going to have a chat with you. So yeah, as I say, you've got to figure out, what time suits you to start making phone calls and doing that. So getting back to the actual structure of the day then. So what I would say is you break the day up into segments. So you want to be an hour to 2 hours cold calling, either in the morning or the afternoon, whichever time is your preference, suits your body clock and everything else. You want to do 30 minutes a day of dropping your cards off, your business cards. So that might be, you just go for a 30-minute walk in the local area, and you might drive out to another suburb or a few streets down the road from where you live, and you just do a 30-minute walk round, drop a few cards off and through some letterboxes. Or if you've got any marketing letters that you've printed up or anything like that at all, that might be a good idea to just drop a few of those locally. So you do 30 minutes of that, around about 2 hours of cold calling. And then after that, you want to spend between an hour and an hour and a half researching local companies to be in contact with. So when I say local companies, I mean people like buyers agents, investor groups, solicitors, accountants, other local businesses. And what you're doing with that is you're contacting them, and you're trying to set up referral systems with each set of people. So it would be a case of, I'll ring up, to give you an example, one of our referral partners is a company called Lee & Associates, which is based in Fortitude Valley in Brisbane. So I would contact Lee & Associates, share data with them to help them build their business up. If any clients needed an accountant, I would recommend them, and have meetings with them every so often. If I was going to run a seminar talking about investment and things like that, I would invite them to the seminar. So there's lots of different payoffs for the person to be involved with you if they own their own business. If it's a group, like it might be Aussie Home Loans or somebody like that, you find a contact in your local area with Aussie Home Loans, and then you make an appointment, go and meet with them and just explain to them what it is that you're doing, and then you go from there. But those are the types of companies that you want to be involved with, because you want them to recommend you as a real estate agent, and you also want to recommend them to your clients, and it goes the whole gambit. So you might want to find the local painter and decorator, the local plumber, locksmith, all sorts of different people. Anywhere where they've got like a shop or something like that, where you can drop off some cards or some marketing material. I'm looking into trying to get a magazine made about the company. If we do that, what I'll do is I'll get it printed off, and everybody will get so many copies. So for example, if you've got some marketing material like something like a magazine or that type of thing, you can go to the local hairdressers and drop that off, the doctor's office, places like that, where people are sat around waiting for stuff and they want to read a magazine or whatever, and you can drop that information off. So there's a lot of different ways of networking, and obviously when the networking goes back to normal, when you can go to networking events, it's probably a good idea to go to some networking events as well, so long as they're not going to cost you too much money. So we've had 2 hours in the morning of cold calling or the afternoon, an hour and a half to 2 hours contacting local businesses and emailing local businesses. Then we're going to spend between 30 and 40 minutes emailing clients from the database direct, any offers or promotions or anything like that, or an introductory email to yourself. Then you want to do at least one video a day where you either drive out to a display home or a listing or something, and you video yourself, and you do either a walk through a display home or you're stood in front of a property or something like that, and you're introducing yourself and you're talking about the property and the listings that you've got and things like that. So there's a lot of different options with that. So you want to do social media stuff, you want to build adverts, you want to start advertising on social media, you want to contact different social media companies to get quotes in to find out how much it is to advertise yourself locally. You want to make content all the time, so you want to upload photographs, links to listings on domain, you making your videos, all that sort of stuff. So
hello,
that
this
on
is
top,
Guy Brown from my real estate
you also want to
advisor.
look to making
Today
contact
I'm just
with one
gonna
of your
do
team
a
members
fairly quick
once a day. So
training video.
if you've got a
about
team
cold
member
calling.
that's local to you,
So one of my
that you think
new
you can hook up
agents,
with, and it might be a good idea
gave,
to do that,
a little bit of
then
training
by all
this
means
morning
do it.
on
Ring them
how
up,
to do
send them an
cold
email, arrange to meet with
calling. And I
them,
thought, well, I'll
do what
is
you got
I'll
to
do a
do
little
to get in
video
touch with that
where,
local team
instead
member,
of
because
you looking at me, you're
you'll
just
work
listening to
together
my voice.
better as a team,
So this
and
might
it's
help you
also
get
to
off to sleep at
feedback
night.
on that person.
Anyway,
So,
so
well, you know, I've done
cold
so many
calling,
cold
what are the
calls today,
objections,
and I've dished my card out and I rung a business up,
objectives
and
even.
you know,
Objection.
I actually got an appraisal out of this call, or you know,
Objections.
I met with this person and they're actually
Objectives.
thinking of buying an investment property,
Doing cold calling.
or whatever the case may be. So
Well, in a real estate,
it's good to swap
setting, if
ideas
you're a
with
real estate
everybody
agent,
and try and move forward
your
with
aim of the game
you know, what you're doing,
is
and try and
to
improve on what you're doing as well. So
list properties.
yeah,
And how do we
it's
list
one of those
properties?
things.
What's
I
the
think
process
really on a
involved?
day-to-day basis,
The first thing we do
you're
is
probably
contact
looking
the
at a
potential
5-hour
customer,
day, not an 8-hour day.
and
That
we
would be
offer
my
to do an
advice.
appraisal.
So you don't want to
Now
be
this
doing
goes
any
into
more
the
than
principle of I've done something
5
for
hours
you,
in a day.
so now you
Just
can
the
do
reason
something
being
for me.
is to stay fresh as well.
So what tends
Because
to
if you
happen
was today
is the client
to say
will,
sit there for
vendor,
7.5 to 8 hours
will get
cold
probably
calling
3
people,
appraisals
you'd
on
quickly
average.
lose the
You'll
will
get
to
3 or
live.
4
So I'm not asking
different
anybody to
people
do
come
that.
in, do an appraisal.
I'm asking you
do
to
a
have
walk through the property,
sharp
and
focus
then
on
give
what you're
the
doing
client the feedback to
for
say
a
whether or
limited
not they
amount
think
of time, and also
the
to break
properties
up
is
the
worth
day
as much as the
in
client
different
thinks,
sections,
or
so
whether
it
it's
doesn't
worth a
become
little
boring
bit
and
more or a little
monotonous.
bit less.
You want to do
Or a lot
some
less or a lot
face-to-face
more, depending
meetings
on
with
how
some
brave
local
they are and how much
companies
they
and
need the
businesses
listing.
and things like that. You
So-
want to go out and do appraisals
The main objective
and meet with people in their
is
homes and have a look
to
round and things like that.
do
You want to do
appraisals.
CMA,
Get an appraisal, meet with the
CMAs
client,
for clients
meet
and
with them
email them to
face-to-face,
them. You know, you want to
and
mix it up. You
arrange
don't want a whole
to
day, block
give them
day
that appraisal.
of just one thing.
get the feedback.
Like I
from
say,
them,
when I worked for other
and
real
then
estate
you
businesses,
do a listed presentation after that.
you would have a whole day
If you can do the whole
of
thing
just
in
door
one go,
knocking,
that is preferable.
or a whole
so if you
day of
turn
just
up
cold
and you do the
calling,
appraisal and you say okay,
or whatever, and
if you're interested
it's
in going
boring
ahead, I've got
and
a form
it's
6.
soul destroying and it zaps your energy,
we can get you
because
signed up today and what have you. That's a bit more
doing
of
the
hard
same
sell.
thing over and over again.
If you're trying to be a bit
you
more
know, you're not working
consultative,
in a
then
factory
you do the
canning
appraisal
soup.
first,
You're
and then
trying
you come
to
back to the
be
client
a
afterwards
dynamic,
and just say, you know,
interesting,
whether or not they want to go ahead.
extroverted
And then
individual
you bring
that
the
is
Form 6
doing
into
lots
the
of different
situation
things
and get them to sign.
and meeting with lots of
And
different people
remember
and
that
contacting
you
lots
must
of
make
different
sure
people.
that everybody
So people in the local
who's
community
involved
get
is
to
there
know
when
you,
you have that meeting. So if it's a husband and wife
and you're
that own
also
the property,
trying different things and seeing
then they
what
both
works.
could
I
be
mean,
there to sign
you
the
might
Form 6. If
contact
it's one person
multiple
that owns a property, that's a different situation.
accountants
You can just meet
and
with that
set up
person and
referral
get the property,
systems with
get the
multiple
form signed.
accountants, and then it might
But
lead
if
to
it's,
multiple listings.
If it's
Or you might just
a
choose one
family trust
accountant that you think
thing,
is going to be a
and
good
there's
one to
multiple
work
owners
with,
involved,
or one
then
solicitor that's
that
going to be a
starts
good
to
one
become a
to
bit
work
more
with.
complicated.
You might go to the local hairdressers,
I would contact
get your hair cut, and then say, yeah,
office
is it okay if I leave a few
and make an
business
arrangement to
cards
have
or
a meeting
a
with
couple
everybody who's
of
involved,
flyers or
possibly
something?
their solicitors or something like that.
And they say, yeah, that's fine, because you're
Or
a
in
customer
an
and
office.
you've come in and
Okay,
you've,
so
you know, you've helped
that's
us out, kind of
pretty rare
thing. So
then,
you've
to
got
be
to
fair. Most
look
of the
at the
time,
big
it's
picture
done at
as
somebody's
to,
home,
you don't want to be just sat there all
or in
day
an
ringing
office,
people,
face
like
to
you just
face,
don't want to
and there's
go
no really
door
two
knocking
people
all day.
which is
And all
the
that sort of
buyers.
thing. I mean, I don't want any of you
Sorry,
to
the
do door
sellers.
knocking anyway. I mean, I
Anyway,
can't stop you from doing
so,
door knocking.
in regards to
if that's what
cold
you're gonna
calling,
do, but
my thing
I
is
would
to
prefer
write
if
your own
you didn't bother
script.
doing that. And to be fair,
I've worked
again,
in real
with
estate for many
dropping
years.
flyers and leaflets and all that sort of stuff, again, I would prefer it if you didn't do that. If you
So,
just dropped business cards,
in
it's
regards
fine,
to a
but
script, is the best thing to
people
do
don't
is
like junk
write
mail at
one
the end
that
of the
suits
day.
you, your personality. So,
and business cards really is probably
and
better to
one
hand
of
a
the
business
other
card
main
to
keys
somebody
is to get to the
face-to-face,
point
be
as quickly
fair.
as possible.
Better way of going around it.
because you don't want to be
if you want to do
too long-winded.
local advertising, like
the other thing as well is a lot
Chinese
of people make the mistake
newspaper
of
or
asking
local
permission to talk to
newspaper,
the
and
person. Now, if you've got
you
enough
want
time
run
to
an
talk to
advert
me,
for
blah blah blah.
yourself, to introduce
The answer to
yourself
that is
to
always
the
going to be
local
no.
suburb where you're
Excuse
based.
me. Nobody's
That's
going to
a
want to
different
talk
thing
to you
because the newspaper
at all.
company delivers that.
They want you to
don't
get to
deliver
the
it.
point
And
tell them what it
give
is
you a
that
lot of
you're calling them up for.
exposure.
So especially with
anything
cold
like
calling.
that, you want to do that.
So you've got to make sure that
and if you need help,
you do that straight away.
Financing.
So to give you an
let me know,
example,
and I'll see if at the time
I would start a call off with something like this.
Costs.
Hello, my name's Guy. I'm calling from my real estate
It's things
advisor.
like
How are you
that.
today?
So it's keeping yourself busy, doing what you've got to do to make sure
it's just a quick call to see if you might be
you are in
interested
contact
in having
with
an appraisal
members
done
of your
on
team,
your property,
the local
just to see
community,
how the property
local
stacks up in
businesses,
this current market.
things like that, to make sure.
So what you've
you're
done there
across
is
all the
you've
different levels, and also
introduced yourself as
doing
who you
new
are,
social
where you're
media
calling
stuff.
from, the reason why you're calling.
One thing that I did see, which I thought was a very
the only
clever
mistake I
idea,
would
was
say
where
with what I just said,
a real estate agency
would
was
be
doing interviews
that
with
I
local
said, "Are you
businesses
interested?"
that have got absolutely nothing to do with
If
them.
you
They
can
were just
avoid
getting to know,
phrases like,
the butcher,
"Are you
the baker,
interested?
the
Do you have
candlestick
time
maker.
to?"
They
Those sort of
stood
things.
there talking to some bloke who
probably
was a
really nice.
butcher or whatever, and asking him about his business and what he got up to, and making a video about it and having a chat with him, recording it, putting some graphics on it or whatever, and then just putting it onto their
I want to
Facebook
confirm the details
and
that I've
sharing
got.
it and share, like, and whatever.
123
So
Smith Street.
So there's a lot of different options there to keep
I need to
keep going.
And
And
this address,
the thing with the social media is
your
a
phone number
necessary
still
evil,
correct,
and it's
your mobile phone
content.
number, your
You've
landline,
got to
whatever
keep going with
information
the
you've got.
content. You've got to
So
make sure
you
you've
need
got,
to confirm the details
lots of
as well,
information,
because it's no good getting the
going out
yes
all
from
the time,
somebody
because
and
this
then
is
going, great, I'm going to do
a
this
perception
appraisal straight
thing.
away. And
So
email
when
it
you
across to
see
somebody
the
if
bloke's
database
face
is
or
out
the
of
woman's
date
face
and
on the bus
correct
stop or
information.
a
This database goes back over 10
billboard
years.
or something
So
in the local area, you think, they must be
so
really
I would say
successful.
that's important. So
Well,
let's
they're
imagine
not
now we've
really
run through.
successful. They
So
bought
we've
that
introduced
success.
ourselves.
They've stayed in
We've
the local
established the
area for
reason to
10
the
years,
call,
everybody
the
knows
person's
them,
agreed
and they've bought into advertising locally, so
have
everybody
the
goes,
appraisal
when they
done.
think about real estate, they think
What
of
do you
their
do after
face,
that? So you
and they think of their
take
name,
particulars
and
of
they
the
ring
property.
that. So
Ask them if they've done any work
that's
to the
bought
property recently or
success.
anything like that.
Well, you can emulate
Now,
that
with
with
the
social
coronavirus,
media for a fraction of the price.
We are not doing a lot of face-to-face stuff anymore.
And also by being in contact
you
with the
can
local
say to
community
them,
and things like that,
I
you
will
can
email
emulate
you
that
all the
process. So
information, and you
my
can do a
advice would
CMA,
be
email it
to
across,
start networking
off our
with
PDs
local
and everything
businesses, things like that,
and then give them a follow-up
to get yourself
call
a bit of
the
a
following
following
week, just to
locally and things
make
like
sure
that.
they've
'Cause if
received
you're
the
across
information
everything,
and to
meeting
get
all
their
these
feedback.
different people, contacting them,
If they
emailing
are
them,
serious,
going to see them face to
then you would
face,
make a
then yeah,
face-to-face
it'll
appointment.
help you in the
See
long
them,
run
they'll
to get
walk
where
through
you
the
need to
property,
be,
give them some
and it'll
more
increase
feedback and say, look, well, I might
the
have to
speed
do
in
a
which you
new
know locally and things like that as well.
appraisal
So yeah,
on the
that's
property
my
based on the
advice
condition that it's in.
moving forward
You've
on
done
how
work
to
to it,
structure
but you
your
haven't done
day.
work to it, or the places
I hope it makes
whatever the
sense.
situation
Hope
is.
you can get time down and spending on a day-to-day basis on what you're working.
So yeah,
Like I say,
I would go down.
I
that
don't
road.
want you to flog
It would be
yourself
a
to
case
death.
of, let's find out what the
I
situation
don't want you to
is.
sort of go, okay,
Make sure they are.
I've got to do 8 hours a
definitely
day,
interested in
I've got to get
going
up at
ahead.
6 o'clock in the
They are
morning,
interested in going
and
ahead,
work through till 5 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon,
and you need to end up
or,
with
you know, whatever.
the agreed.
It isn't like that. You're not going to be as productive. I mean, even if you boil it down to 2 hours a day and that's all you're going to do,
So at the
I
end
don't
of the
really
day,
care, to be honest with you.
you're looking at
If
what
it's
the
2
price
hours a
is gonna
day and
be,
you've done
it's
cold
gonna
calling
list
for
at,
2 hours a day and you've ended
what
up getting
time and when it's gonna
a
be
couple of
listed.
appraisals lined up,
You've agreed
and
to
then one of them
amend
turns
paid
into
advertising,
a listing, and then it becomes a sale.
marketing you're going to do.
I'd rather
when
you
it's
did
all
that
gonna
2 hours a
start,
day and you're productive and you actually
and
get
what
something
your
out
time
of the
frame
day
is for actually
than
getting the
8
property
hours of
sold.
slogging
So
yourself
you know,
and get nothing.
Standard stuff is to try and sell something.
Because you've got to
within
remember
6
how
to
you
8
come
weeks.
across as well. You're not going to
and
come
to do as
across
many
the
of
same
those as you can when
if
you
you've
can.
been doing it for hours and hours.
So you know,
Because you're not going to
typically
be
when things
fresh.
are normal,
You're not going to have the
there's no
enthusiasm.
pandemic.
You know, it's the same when you go to
My
meet
advice
somebody.
would
If
be
you're
to
meeting
do
the number,
5 to
you know,
5
number 20 person of
homes a
that
week.
day, you're not going to be
over the
fresh and
weekend, cover it
enthusiastic
throughout
when
the
they
week in
meet
the
you.
afternoon,
So
stuff like that.
you've got to look at it
Depends how
that
much
way
access
as well.
you've got to the property. If
You
it's
know,
empty, then
you maybe do
difficult.
two
I mean,
to
obviously,
three
if it's got
appointments with
tenants,
face-to-face
you've got to
meetings with
work
people a
around it.
day at the maximum.
Excuse
2
me.
hours
So,
of cold calling, an hour of
as the
social media
situation
work.
stands, it
And
comes
that's
down
it.
to volume of calls.
That's it for that day. You've done
versus
enough
the
running round, you've done enough
So,
phone calls, you've done enough
You're going to end up doing,
stuff online. That's plenty.
You wanna
You
look
don't
at a
need to do
ratio
any
of
more
around
than
about
that.
1 in 10.
And if you've
That's
got,
pretty
family
standard.
commitments and other things, you might
So
have a
if you do
part-time
10
job or
calls,
something
you
else that
wanna
you're trying to
pay for.
squeeze in.
You could do
We've had a conversation with David today. He's going to be doing.
So what I would say
He's going to
would
look
be
to try and get property management as
try
part
and
of his
give yourself a
business as
goal
well.
every day.
Then that's an income coming in there. It's a different revenue stream.
Okay,
That's
so
another
let's try that
income.
script from the top. See how it sounds.
By all means, crack on and do it.
Hi, good afternoon.
If you want to
this is
need
Guy
to
Brown
know more
from
about
My
property
Real Estate
management, or want
Advisor.
more
How are you
training
doing
or
today?
anything
I am
like
fine,
that,
pal.
let me know.
Just
and
a quick
I'll
call
get it
just to
arranged
see
for
if
you.
you might be open to having an appraisal.
And yeah,
done on
it's
your
just a
property
case of
just to see
streamlining what you're
how it
doing.
stacks up in the current market.
Following up with people as well.
Hey,
that's
that's
also
fine,
very
pal.
important.
What do you want
You've
to
got to
do?
make sure that you follow up with these people.
Basically, I just wanted to go through
Because
and
they,
just
you might have
give you a
spoke
basic
to them,
outline
make
of
sure
what I
they're
think
in the
property's
diary
worth
for
at
you
the
to
moment.
follow up and call back and say, okay, we spoke.
So
before
basically,
about
how I
buying
go
a
about
house.
doing that is I just get some information
House and
from
land
yourself,
package. Did you get your
and,
finance sorted out?
and
If
then
not,
what
I
can
know
do,
a
if you
finance
like, is I
person,
can
and you put them in
email
touch with a
the
finance
information
person
across
that we
to
normally
you
recommend.
in a PDF,
When you
so
get a
you've got it.
relationship going with a good finance person, you
If
put them in
not,
touch
I can
with
actually
them.
come and do a
So the
visit
follow-up
and
side
we'll
of
walk
things,
through, give you a
it
bit
could
more
be
detailed
you were
appraisal.
thinking of
What would
selling
you
your property,
prefer?
you're still going to sell it.
Alright, pal.
Do I
I'd just
need
like
to
an email,
negotiate on my
please. I don't
commission?
want nobody
Are
coming
you
on
thinking
my
of going
house
with
at the
somebody
moment.
else? Have you got any appraisals
If you
from
can just
anybody
do
else?
me the
How
basic
do we stack
courtesy
up?
of sending an
That
email,
kind
that'd
of
be
thing.
fine, pal.
You've got to try and make sure
Okay, mate.
that if you
All I
have
need to do
engaged
then,
with
I just
somebody
need
and
to
they've given you
confirm
any
for
chance
you,
of them doing business
for our
with you,
records, just make sure
that
we're
you're
up to
all
date
over
with
them
the
like a
database
rash, and
that
you
I've
keep
got.
that effort up to keep in
What's
touch
your
with them
current
to make
address?
sure that they
Alright, pal,
choose
it's
you over
number
anybody else that
23
might be out
Allen
there.
Road
You don't want to lose
in
any
Mount
business just
Gravatt,
because you didn't do a
Brisbane,
follow-up phone call
postcode
to somebody.
4122. Yeah, that's up to
So,
date.
yeah.
That's what we've got. And what's
Normal
your,
hours,
what's your current email
Monday
address,
to Friday,
please, mate?
9
Hey, pal,
o'clock
it's
to 3 o'clock
Dave.Jones
at the
at
most, I would
Outlook.
say. If anybody's got
dot
kids,
com.
they've got to pick them up and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay, so
if you want to
Dave.
throw in giving
Jones
people your
at
business
Outlook
cards when you pick up
.com.
kids at the school,
Okay, that's
you
great
can do
stuff,
that, who
thank you.
cares?
And can you just confirm your mobile
It's
phone
whatever
number for
suits
me,
you at the
please?
end of the day. And
Hey, pal, I
weekend
get
work,
that.
again,
So
this
it's
is a time to you. If you think you're going to have a better
695 789.
contacting people at
Yeah,
the weekend,
okay, that's great, fantastic. Thank
by
you very
all
much for that.
means, call people over the weekend.
Okay, well, what I'll do then,
whatever.
I shall
Or if you
get
have to have
the
meetings
basic appraisal done up for
over the
you
weekend,
and
by all
emailed out
means
to
have
you.
meetings. But then
No, I was just
in the
going to ask
week,
if it might be okay
take
if
a
I can do
couple
a
of days
follow-up
off, or
call,
at least one
just
day
get
off
a bit
in
of
the week.
feedback from you to see if you agree
Because
on
if
the
you're going to
price
work
that we come up
weekends,
with.
you need to have a day off.
Aye, that's alright, that's fine, yeah.
So again, don't flog yourself, because
That's
you're
great
not
stuff.
going to
Thank
get
you
the
very
best
much for that. So
performance
I'll put you down
by
for a
doing
call
a
back
60-hour
on
week,
Monday
working
next
7
week
days a week. You're just
on the
not.
7th.
You're going to burn out.
No, you're
going to
be in after 2 o'clock in the
and
afternoon.
you're going to be fed up. And even if you're
I
killing
don't
it,
know,
and you're selling stuff left, right, and
I
centre,
normally
you're making
finish
a lot
work
of
a
money.
bit later than that.
What's
Can you
the
make
point
it after 4? I
if
should
you're
be
doing
in by
stupid
then.
hours, you don't see your family and
yeah,
your
no
friends,
problem. I'll put you down for 4
and
o'clock.
you've
on
got all
Monday
this money
next
sat in the
week.
bank,
I'll
but
give
you
a call
can't spend
back,
it or enjoy
and
yourself,
we'll
or
just go
use
over
it
it
to
and
do
we'll just see what you
anything
think.
worthwhile.
Hey, that's fine,
all
pal.
you're doing is
Alright,
working.
well, I'll catch you
So
later
you've got to
then.
make
Thanks
sure
very
you've got
much for
that
the call.
balance there, and that's why
Yeah,
I'm
thanks
saying
very
to
much for
keep
your
it down
time.
to the
And
5 hours
yeah, look forward to
situation,
catching up with
because
you
if
soon.
it's 5 hours,
Thanks again. Bye-bye.
5 hours
Bye.
is realistic, and it also keeps you fresh, and motivated to do what you're doing.
So that's just a quick example of a
So yeah,
straightforward call
by
in a
splitting
perfect
up
world, obviously,
and
they
having a
get that
mixture of
most the time,
different
you're gonna
things,
get, no, go away, I'm not interested.
and
You're
having a
gonna get my phone
mentor
number
as
from,
well.
why are you calling me, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, the
all sorts of
mentor might be me. I don't want to be enough
So,
to say that I should be anybody's
You'll probably
mentor,
get, 99 of those. And then one
Lee and
person
Anya
will
in New
have a
South Wales
conversation
would
to
be
you
very
at
good.
the
Alex
second.
in New South Wales
But
would
the
be
thing
good.
is, with
Emily
cold
would be
calling,
good
it
in
isn't necessary
Victoria.
But as you can see, that is a very straightforward
Rob
thing
Davis
to do.
and
It's,
WA's
who am
there.
I?
So
why am I calling?
pick up the phone,
What do I
ring
want
them up
from you? What
if
am I
you're having a
giving you?
stressful
What's the
day,
benefit
and have
to
a
it?
chat to one of them.
Getting
Or
some
arrange to
kind of
do
commitment back out of
a
that
Skype
person,
conversation
the
or Zoom or
conversation, building
something,
up a rapport with them, that kind
and
of
have a
thing.
catch up with
Didn't
them.
do a
And
lot of
now
rapport with that
they'll,
conversation, so
got lots of wisdom there, and they'll be able to talk you
but
through
yeah,
and give you
the
some
open
ideas
questions
on
like how's your day
new
going
stuff that
today?
you can try.
How's work
It
going?
is a difficult
that
time
sort
at
of
the
thing.
moment.
Just
It is
open-ended
difficult to stay
questions so you can sort of
motivated.
get to know the person a bit
But
better if they're a bit more open.
you've
and,
got to take advantage of
straightforward
the group
person.
of people that you
But yeah,
are connected with. You've got
the
people at
more
lots
laid
of different
back and
levels here,
easygoing you are on
lots
the
of different
call, the
skill
better it is,
sets.
basically. And the more
I've worked in the
information
industry
you can gather in that
lots
call,
of different roles
the
with
easier your
various
job's gonna
different
be at the end of the
businesses.
day.
And I've got a
valued
good, strong
added service that you're
understanding
giving them.
on
So,
how
you
things
can
work,
throw
how
into
to
the-
get new
into the
business
mix
and
that
all
you
that
might
sort
be
of
able to
thing,
get
and
a
how to
financial
undercut other
advice,
companies.
advisor to give them some
All
free
sorts of
advice.
different things, tricks of the
Give them a
trade that you need.
conference
Like,
call
for
or something
example, when I
like
had a
that.
conversation with
So there's lots of different options
David about the rent roll thing.
that you can throw
What you
into
probably
the mix.
don't
It's just
know is
knowing
that
what they are
a rent
and
roll,
knowing the
you're
benefits.
charging 8%
The
of
other
what
thing
the
that you might
rent
want to
is
try and ascertain
is
during
charged
a phone
as
call
a
as
fee
well,
for managing the
because
property.
the
So
company
that's
does
the
sell a lot of
average
house and land
industry
packages
standard
and
is
things
around
like
about
that.
8%.
would be to say something
Well, if
along
you
the
come in
lines
and
of,
say
are
to
you
the
looking to
person
buy an investment
who's renting the
property?
property, it's hard to get somebody to
Now,
leave using a
if they are
rental
looking to buy an
company and
investment
switch
property,
from one
we've got
to
a lot
another.
of different things available
I'll tell you
to
that for free because I've
apartments
done
and
that job.
townhouses and
But if
all
you can
sorts of different
undercut
things.
them by
So,
a fair bit, it's your
that
own
would be a good
business, you can
opportunity
charge
there
whatever
to
you
try and
want. You could say,
get
oh
a
well, I'll
follow-up
do it
lead,
for 5%
or
for
ask
the
them the
first
question,
6
do they know
months.
anybody who's looking
You've got
to
them.
buy their first
You've
home?
got them at
That as
5%.
well.
If you drop it by
Get
3%,
a good lead.
pick up the
So
rental
that's my
side,
advice on cold
use a
calling
company for the
today.
admin.
Any
All of a sudden you
questions
can
or
build
you
a rent
fancy
roll very
doing a bit
quickly.
of run through,
You build a
please just
rent
give me
roll
a
to
call.
40 or 50 properties. You've got
So
a
remember,
steady
try
income
and do
coming
as
in
many
there
cold
that
calls as you
increases the
can
value of
in a
your
day.
business as well.
And just keep pushing
If you're going to
yourself,
have
and I
your
wish
own
you the best
business
of
in the
luck.
future and things
Okay,
like that.
speak
So
to you
you've
soon.
got
Cheers, bye.
another string to your bow, basically. So yeah. So anyway, I'd like to thank you for your time. I hope this has been useful to you, and I hope it helps you to structure your day. Any questions, give me a call or send me an email. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon and your day, well, or your morning, whenever you hear this. All the best. Thanks again. Bye-bye.